Hi guys, welcome to my first paranormal experience video I've made. I've been watching a lot of these lately and it really made me take a look at my life and see if I had any of these similar experiences that these people It made me think of 2 times that I had a pretty weird experience that cannot be explained with anything other than my house must be haunted. So the first one takes place when I am little, and I have a brother and a sister. They're younger than me by 2-3 years. We were all pretty young. I might have been 12 at the most, but I feel like could have even been 7 or 8. I don't remember how old we exactly were, but we were all sitting in the living room watching TV, and my mom was with us for a bit. And then she was like, oh, I gotta go close the greenhouse doors because we have 2 big greenhouses and you have to shut the doors, otherwise the cold air gets in. It was around winter time or fall, so it was getting cold, so they have to close the doors so too much heat isn't lost so the plants grow properly still. So she went out to close the greenhouse doors, and my dad is in the workshop. He does a lot of fixer-upping. So he was out there doing his thing, and my mom was closing the greenhouse doors. She then walks back to the house and she comes in the door and she asks us, were any of you guys upstairs? I thought I saw your brother's window move. Like the curtain, not the window. The curtain moved. And we were like, no, we've all been down here this whole time watching TV. None of us have moved. We didn't even go to the washroom. She was like, oh, okay. And then I got really creeped out, and I went upstairs to look to see if there was a vent under his window. He doesn't have drapes though, so it's not like you can really tell if the window's moving. He just has a light see-through fabric kind of curtain, kind of like a veil on a wedding dress, like that kind of see-through. He also has a normal like chain blind where you pull the chain and it opens and closes. So that's what she saw move, the chain part, or maybe somebody like moved it and looked out or something. But there was nobody else in the house, and we were all downstairs watching TV. My dad was out in the shop. He was not in the house. He did not come in the house. So yeah, that was really creepy. We couldn't explain it. It just didn't sit right with me. And like, I'm a reasonable person. I'm not just gonna be like, oh my gosh, it was a ghost. I like go, and that's why I looked for the vent, because I was like, there has to be an explanation for this. Like, a curtain does not just move on its own. So yeah, that was the first time I ever had like a paranormal experience. And then the second time, it was actually multiple occasions, but what happens is in my bedroom, my door, oh, I forgot to mention, I live in like an old farmhouse. It used to be my great-grandparents', and it was actually moved on wheels to a different location where it is now. So the doors are old. They're not like the normal doors that most people have now. So altogether, my house is old. It makes weird noises. When the heater comes on, when people step on the floors, you hear them. I've never heard any weird footsteps, I don't think. Yeah. Basically, my door had a tendency to open and shut. Like, I would come in my room, leave the door open, I'm on my laptop watching YouTube videos, whatever I do, and it would shut. And it wouldn't slam shut normally, it would just like close, and you would hear it going click, because it would almost close shut. And I would always be like, oh, that's scary, but then I was like, oh, it's just the wind. I'm in a house, like there's not a lot of wind flow, but I always made up excuses to calm myself down. So I was like, oh, it was just the breeze, maybe somebody walked by my door, or that kind of thing. Okay, so my boyfriend was over and we walked into my room, and right away the door slammed shut. Like, it slammed shut. It had never done that before. It had always just kind of clicked and almost shut all the way. And he turned his head and his eyes got up, and I was like, oh, it's fine, my door normally does that, like, don't worry about it. And he was like freaked out to the max. I was like, it's just an old house, like, don't worry. he just wasn't calming down. Like, he would not let it go. So then I started joking with him, and I'm like, oh, my house is haunted, you know? Like, it's my great-grandparents' house. They probably died in here. I had always just let it go and been like, oh, it's just the wind, it's just the breeze. But that was the first time it ever slammed shut, so I should have been paying more attention. But, yeah. And those are really the only two major paranormal experiences I've ever had. There's been other times where I had a Furby at one point, and I had a sleepover, and my Furby somehow ended up in the storage room beside my living room in the basement, and it went off in the middle of the night, and my friend heard it, and she got freaked out. But, like, that could be explained as, like, my brother put the Furby down there to scare them. I don't know what really happened. There's also been lots of scratches on the house, but I always thought it was the tree. Like, I don't think it would be anything else, but just weird noises, weird little things that happen that you just kind of brush off. So, really, I don't know if my house actually is haunted. I don't even know if my great-grandparents died in the house. They might have died in a hospital. But those are just the two weird things that happened. So I thought I would share them because it's kind of interesting and entertaining to hear. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you for another video.